cards, yeah, we keep it tight. Willie Mays, Clemente, we shining so bright. Sandy Pro Facts, Hank Aaron, legends never die. As we reveal the grades, we reach for the sky.
Hey, welcome back everybody, and happy hump day. It is actually Tuesday evening. It's actually creeping up on midnight, so I might as well just say happy hump day anyway. But got a package back from FedEx today from PSA. I believe it's a 15 or 16 card vintage sub that came back, so we're going to take a look. A lot of these I believe are PC for Adam and also for Steven. I think you have a card here that we've been waiting on for a little bit, so hopefully we do well. It's kind of nice, honestly, when we're not always looking for 10s. Definitely don't expect any here with the vintage, but like I said, hopefully we get some good stuff. I think there's some nice cards in here for sure, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this around and get it going. Alright, so you guys remember the drill. So we're going to go through each and every single card. I will talk about the grade prediction and why, as far as some of the issues, that at least what I remember. The goal here is to share the same opinion the grader does, and hopefully we do that. So first one here is a 1979-80, right? 79-80 it is. 79-80 OPC Wayne Gretzky rookie card. This is for Jeremy, and this particular card had a bunch of issues on it. Wrinkles, creases, you kind of name it, corners, edges, all the standard stuff of the old OPC. Realistically, I know you were hoping to get a numerical grade, which I think we achieved. Secondly, I think we were shooting for a 1.5, but I thought there was an off chance of maybe getting a 2 even. So let's take a quick look, and we did. Got a 2. Congratulations on that. I know that's a big surprise for the both of us, so that's awesome. Second here is a 77 Top Steve Largent, also for you, Jeremy. What I remember about this card is it had good centering, it had good eye appeal. The only thing that I thought would prevent it from being a 9, there was a little raised moisture bump in the middle of his helmet, and it's very common in old Topps cards. Like if you've even bought an old Topps box recently or ripped it, you'll find a bunch of cards with little bumps on it for some reason. But either way, that was really the only issue I thought that would prevent it from being a 9. Corners obviously had minor edge or minor fraying. Some slight minimal edge chipping on this card is actually really nice. So this one we got an 8. Next one here, Pistol Pete. This is from the, I believe, 71-72 season. Beautiful card, great design. I remember the front centering was god awful. This was one of the few times I've seen a card that's beyond the 80-20. So max grade PSA was going to give this particular card was going to be a 7 based on that. And that's assuming everything else was perfect, which it's not. However, it had very minor edge and very minor corner issues. By minor, I mean minimal fraying. So realistically, hoping for a 6 on this particular card. And we did. We got a 6. Nice. Earl Wilson. This is also for you, Jeremy. This card looked really good. From what I remember, centering looked good. There was the same kind of like minimal fraying, edge chipping on this particular card, but surface had no raised bumps. There was a slight questionable, like not a divot or a bend or a dimple. There was one area on the card where it looked like there was concave in it, just based on lighting, but not quite strong enough for me to say it's a dent or not. So I thought if they didn't see that, I thought it would be closer to an 8. If they did count that as a dent, I thought we'd be closer to that 6-7 range. So we got a 6, and that little mark is over on this side, and we can revisit the inspection video. But that was really the only issue on this particular card, outside of standard corners for some of these older cards as far as wear goes. So I think they did see what we thought. And I can see it still right here. I don't know if you guys can see. It's not quite deep enough to be a nail mark either. So there we go. Next one here is a 74 Topps Dave Winfield. This is for Adam. Centering was off significantly top to bottom. Corners had traditional, not traditional, but standard wear and tear, I would say. And also the edges did as well. Surface actually looked really good. It didn't have any like fish eyes or print issues. Print marks or nothing like that. So realistically, this card was hoping for a 6-7. We got the 7 on this one. Awesome. Next card, 75 Topps George Brett rookie, and we actually sent the minis. This is the mini, so we sent the mini and the regular size card for a few players on this. So we'll go through this. First one's the George Brett. This particular card, same thing. Centering was not great. If you guys are familiar with this set, centering is usually pretty bad. Outside of that, there's usually a ton of print issues. So this one had a couple fish eyes on it. Corners had minor wear edges as well, and the centering was pretty off. So realistically, hoping for a 7 for this card. And we got a 7. Next one, the regular size one. This one had a couple more issues. Corners were a little bit more damaged than this particular card. Centering actually looked decent, but there's quite a few more fisheyes on this as well. So realistically speaking, we were expecting a 5.6, and we got the 6. So nice little, look at that, nice little combo there, 6 and 7. Next one is the Pete Rose, rest in peace. We did not plan this. This was sent way before his passing, but the same thing, 75 Topps mini set. And this one, same thing. It looked just about the same as the George Brett as far as the mini goes. There was a couple fisheyes on this one too, a little bit better corners. So I was hoping for that 6-7 as well. And we got the 7. So nice. And there's a couple of the raised bumps as well that Earl Wilson had. Next one here is the Pete Rose 75 regular size. This one I thought was not as good either. Just more surface area, so more room for error or damage, I would say. But this one I thought realistically same thing, 5.6. We got the 6. Nice little pattern. Next one is a Hank Aaron 75 Topps, same thing, the mini. Now this one, it was not going to be great in my opinion. There's a combination. One of the corners is really bad. Centering's bad. The print surface, as far as the issues as far as fisheyes go, and also just other print marks were not great as well. Realistically, we just want to set it in to match the large one, but I was thinking we'd probably get a 4, maybe even a 3 on this one. We got the 4. Next particular card is the larger one. So this one looked better than the mini for once. Instead, opposite. Backside you can see. Still not quite 90-10, but it's pretty bad as well. So this card, realistically hoping for a 5 or 6. And we got the 6. Sweet. Willie Mays, this is I think it's a 1959 Topps. So this one looked really good. Centering was pretty far off. Realistically speaking though, we were hoping for maybe a 5 on this particular card. Really didn't find any print issues, but corners had the amount of wear that you'd expect. Also the edges as well. But outside of that, nice clean back. So hoping here, like I said, maybe a 4 or 5. Got the 5. Beautiful. Next one here is the Sandy Koufax, same year, 1959 Topps. And this one had a little bit more corner wear than the Willie Mays. But outside of that, it was pretty identical. So realistically, if that got a 5, I'm thinking this is likely a 4. I do believe that's what we also expected. And we did. Got a PSA 4. Next one, Roy Campanella. So this one, I didn't even know who he was. But Paul, one of my guys here, I made like one of those custom labels for those what do you call it, those Mag Pros from Zion cases or whatever, and I made him one for Roy Campanella. I was like, oh, I think I have one of those guys in my binder. So I pulled it out, gray back, 1956 I believe this one is. Just wanted to grade it, and it looked pretty good. It was probably going to be between a 4 and a 5. Same stuff, corners, small little, not quite a crease, but a wrinkle. Crease goes all the way through. Wrinkles are just a little wrinkle in the surface or whatever, but hoping for a 4 or a 5. And they gave us both. They gave us a 4.5. Interesting. So very cool. Don't see a lot of half grades, so nice card. Awesome. And next one here we have a Bob Clemente. I think this is a 59? Maybe it's the 59. So this one, same thing. Centering was pretty good, but the corners were more worn than we had on the Willie Mays as well. Outside of that, the eye peel looked pretty good as well, but when you have more corners, they usually ding you quite a bit more. So Mays got a 5, thinking this likely got a 4 then. And we got a 5. So even beat the expectations. Nice. Next one here, another one, 58, Bob Clemente. I think that was 59, that's 58. So 58, same thing, corners was some of the major issues. Surface actually looked really good. There's slight wrinkles, not too many. So I'm thinking, I thought this was going to be a 4 or maybe a 5. And we got a 4. So very cool. Nice cards. And vintage is awesome. Next one here, Duke Snider. This is for Steven. And quick backstory. This was actually sent to me by him in a BVG 7. I thought it might have been a slight overgrade, but we were hoping to get a 6 originally from SGC. And we came back with a 5.5, so we thought we'd give it a shot with PSA just because they tend to grade a little bit, I I don't know, they tend to grade a little bit on par as far as vintage goes with some of the companies that aren't like as super strict on it, at least from my data. But so we were hoping to get at least the same kind of grade, maybe a 6 on this particular card. There wasn't really anything I remember that was major issues outside of like there was a natural bowing, probably unnatural bowing to the card when we cracked it out of the BBG. There was also one particular corner bottom left that looked like it was slightly curving up, raised, but not quite a crease, not a wrinkle either. There's no lines, it's just kind of got a weird curvature to it. So hopefully we did well, but let's take a look. We got a 4 this time. So I'll have to look, because when we look at it between the Clemente that we got a 4 on and the Snider, I would tell you that when we're looking at side by side, eye appeal wise, centering goes, is a lot better on the Duke Snider. Corners are better also on the Snider as well. Probably not that one, that's the bottom left I was talking about. It's got this little weird bow to it. But no wrinkles on this card, no creases. There's a small wrinkle on the Clemente. And in the back, how we're looking at it is centering is also better on this one than this one. As you can see, it's super heavy and thin on the top. It's beyond that 90-10. And the corners are sharper on this particular card. So, interesting. I don't think it's faded. I don't have any samples of 54 Bowman outside of this one too. So, I don't believe the card's faded. But, you know, obviously this one's super vibrant. So, we'll have to take a look and kind of see what we want to do with that. But I don't know that I agree with this particular grade, but we'll take a look and go from there. So vintage, like I said, always fun. Definitely appreciate it. It keeps me learning every single time, especially with these, just because it's a whole different ball game when we're looking at these cards compared to ultra modern. But appreciate you guys very much. Hope you enjoyed this video. We should have more coming back soon, and I will catch you all later.
So hit that like and subscribe.